So the first step to freeze-proofing your above-ground water system is to make the connection from your water source to your house. In my case, the water source is this drilled well here, but you might have a cistern or a lake or another water source with a cabin or cottage. This house is near bedrock, so that's why it's above ground, and that's why the water system is above ground and needs freeze protection. Now, this first part of the water system, though, the main water supply line from the well casing over to the house, is actually slightly underground. There was enough soil here to dig a trench. So the first thing you need to do is connect your water source to the house using PEX pipe, not copper, because PEX is flexible, and if the water does somehow freeze, if your system fails, PEX pipe won't burst, unlike copper pipe, which would burst if the water froze and give you a big headache. Next, I encased the PEX pipe supply line underground here in 4-inch ABS pipe, all the way under the building, where the ABS pipe makes a 90-degree upward bend and goes into the house, and I'll show you that in a minute. The water supply line runs inside that 4-inch ABS, and inside the ABS alongside the water supply line is a thermostatically controlled rooftop heating cable, which runs the full length from the house where the pipe connects right to this well casing with a little bit of extra. In fact, there are actually 2 heating cables in that 4-inch ABS. One of them's a backup because you don't want to have to dig up your system if one heating cable fails. So one of the important steps to keep in mind is putting an extra heating cable in that you can plug in and use if needed. So I'm under the building now. The well is over there on that side where you see the light coming through. This is the spot where the 4-inch ABS pipe that I mentioned branches up and exits from the soil. There's a 45-degree elbow underground and then a second 45-degree elbow with a clean out port here in case we ever need to access inside, for a total of a 90-degree bend, which allows the pipe to branch straight upwards and enter the building to supply the building with water going through the floor here. You can see I've sealed it with caulking to prevent moisture and cold air and bugs and things from getting through. So again, inside this 4-inch diameter ABS pipe is the water supply line going all the way back to the well, as well as 2 thermostatically controlled roof heating cables, which, because of the ABS pipe, provide more heat, and the heat is retained longer due to the little bit of insulation the ABS provides. Only one cable is in use at a time. The other one is just a spare, but this gives full protection from freezing for the water supply line for its entire run from where it enters the building all the way underground and over to the well over there. So we're inside the house now, and this is the spot in this cabinet containing my laundry sink. Below this cabinet is the spot where that 4-inch diameter ABS pipe enters the building, and you can see here I've installed this toilet flange where it enters the building to help facilitate that entry. And this pipe here, this PEX pipe, is the water supply line, the main water supply line that comes up and connects to my pressure tank here, where it's distributed through the entire water system. I've got some paper towels stuffed in the opening around the pipe where the flange comes through the floor, just to prevent cold air from getting into the house that way. These 2 cords here power the 2 heating cables that go down through the 4-inch diameter pipe alongside the water supply line, all the way through that 4-inch pipe to the well and the well casing, so that that entire run of water supply line is protected from freezing. The heating cables plug in back here to this device here. It's called the Inkbird. It's a temperature control device, which you can use for all sorts of different things. I use it to regulate the temperature at which the heating cable comes on, the one heating cable that's currently plugged in. As I said, there's 2 cables there and one is a spare. You can see only one is plugged in at the moment. So I've set this device to turn the heating cable on when it detects that the temperature gets to 3 degrees Celsius or below, and to switch the heating cable off when it reaches 5 degrees Celsius. So in that way, you only use the minimum amount of electricity and the heating cable is not running all the time. It's only running when the system detects that warmth is needed to prevent the water from freezing. Another important feature when freeze-proofing your above-ground water system is the ability to protect your sewage line from freezing, which isn't needed as often as water supply lines being protected from freezing, but it is occasionally needed. This outdoor plug outlet I wired in to power 2 separate heating cables, which are plugged in here and are applied with aluminum tape all along this 3-inch diameter sewage pipe. You can see the heating cable is taped to the bottom of the pipe all along its entire length. 2 different points of freeze protection, and everything that drains water in the house is connected to this main sewage pipe. So the toilet, the shower, the sinks, it all comes through here, and it's all completely protected from freezing thanks to these 2 heating cables, which, again, get their power here from this under the cabin outdoor plug outlet.